watching all the different stops, I mean, you were probably getting a little tip or a little bit of advice from so many different people. How do you just kind of let that all sink in?
Yeah, you just let it sink in. Don't read too much into it. Know that you have to get better, and that you got to be ready for the next challenge. No reason to focus on one thing.
Have there been any other head coaches that have worked one-on-one with you, like Rick did during this stuff? Or did that in itself stand out?
That in itself is kind of crazy. It's one thing to see him on TV; it's another thing to see him in person. Yeah, that's probably the first time a head coach has done that.
You played for a great coach in college. How does that prepare you for this level, knowing that he's one of the guys that other coaches probably steal from and lean on as well?
I think it's just his ability to, invest in guys. A guy like me who took me some time, and it was more about the off-the-court things that he taught me about life than it was about basketball. Basketball came, but just how to handle myself as a man, and that's the thing I would credit to Coach Wright.
How unusual did the day feel with only having you and two others?
It was unusual. It was definitely unusual. I was definitely ready to go for 3-on-3 and everything like that, more guys. But it doesn't matter. Things happen. You just got to be ready to compete.
Did you get any 3-on-3 with some of the intern guys, or was it just 1-on-1, 2-on-2?
1-on-1, 2-on-2, and some 3-on-3 actions. So everybody got what they needed to get in.
How much during this interview process are you stressing the program you've been through, the winning pedigree, that type of thing?
I think it helps. It definitely helps, but I try not to talk about Villanova too much. It's gonna happen in itself. It only helps, honestly. I don't really know how to answer that.
Sounds like you're tired of talking.
No, I'm not. I love talking about my program and all the guys in it, so it's a bonus to me.
Obviously different with only 3 guys as opposed to 6, but what stood out to you about working out for the Pacers as opposed to some of the other ones you might have had so far?
I think the attention to detail, the energy, those guys look like they're ready to compete more just as much as we are. You can kind of feel that competitive nature in here, and I think that goes through everybody on the coaching staff.
Are you sick of flying yet?
No, believe it or not. My dad is like, "Are you in Africa yet? Like, are you in Europe yet?" Yeah, so no, I'm not tired of it. I just see it as another opportunity. I love it.
I apologize you've been asked this already, but what teams have you worked out for besides the Pacers?
Worked out for the Celtics, Nets, Knicks, Lakers, Nuggets, and this is Pacers. Yeah, 6.
Is there any moment where you're walking through a building and you see a player or a coach and you're like, wow, that's actually this person in real life?
Yeah, it happened at the Nets. I saw Ben Simmons and I saw Seth Curry, and I was like, I didn't know Joe Harris was that tall. Another one at the Knicks, I saw Derrick Rose, and I was like, oh, that's Derrick. It's still you see them in 2K and you see them in video games, see them on TV. It's a whole nother ball game when you see them in person.
What kept you going throughout a college career that, like you said, you kind of had to mature and grow up through? And how do you think you've, become a better person maybe on and off the court throughout that process?
I think it was watching the guys before me, watching Mikhail, Dante, Eric Paschall, Jalen Brunson. Those guys went through bumps and bruises. Some of those guys redshirted, and I wanted to be able to say that I was, I never gave up on myself, never gave in. I wanted to be on the same pedestal as those guys, no matter what it took. And I think a lot of that came from looking at myself in the mirror and knowing what I want to be. And it definitely took some time, but I'm glad I got there, and I'm still continuing trying to get better.
Who would you cheer for in the playoffs, the Suns or the Mavs?
The Suns or the Mavs?
Who would you cheer for? You got teammates on both sides?
I really wanted the Suns, but I was happy because Jalen was going crazy. I ain't gonna lie to you, Jalen's going crazy. So it was hard. I didn't really. I wanted it because the Suns needed one, but I'm glad that Jalen kept going.
Are there any attributes you're trying to demonstrate to teams as you go through?
Just the ability to compete. Playing hard, playing tough, communicating, being a team player, being unselfish, and showing that I can knock down shots. I think that's the biggest thing, being physical.
Is there any player you're looking forward to competing against or stepping on the same court with, maybe that you looked up to or modeled the game after?
To be honest, no. I just want to compete against the best. It may look ugly. They might do whatever. That's what this is. So I'm just looking forward to the challenge.
I've been asking all the prospects this. What would 10-year-old you say about where you are now on the doorstep of the NBA? Could he believe that you're actually standing here working out for NBA teams and about to make that dream a reality?
I would say, yeah. I think my 10-year-old self would see that wouldn't take it serious at all. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be in the NBA. Like, but yeah, no, I think my 10-year-old self wouldn't be totally surprised.
What workouts do you have left?
Minnesota, Utah, and Jazz.
Yeah.
Utah and Phoenix. Sorry.